So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the greatest organic watch channel out there. Unbelievable but true. And also, me and Kino are always trying to bring you what's really happening out there in the watch world and also in the Muppet Boiler Room secondary gray watch market. Unbelievable but true, but we do. And today, gentlemen, we're going to talk about Patek Philippe. That's right. And those discontinued watches that they discontinued last week. I'm going to give you some information that most of you out there, I mean, you guys are very, very smart. Most of you know this already, but to the ones that don't know it, I'm going to give you some information that you guys need to have in your arsenal to defend yourself from all these flim-flammers out there. But before I get into all that, let's go into my magical intro. So gentlemen, I'm back and we're going to be talking about Patek Philippe. Patek Philippe has discontinued a bunch of their watches from their catalog. That's right. Like Nautilus, the 5980 in rose gold, the 5980 in stainless steel, and the 5980 in stainless steel and gold. Unbelievable. And also their Aquanauts. That's right. They also have discontinued Aquanauts. Unbelievable, that Patek Philippe. Patek Philippe is one of my favorite watch brands. And I really mean that. I mean, there are unbelievable looking watches. I myself have one, I have a little Nautilus, stainless steel with a blue dial. Unbelievable. So they are in my top, my top two watch brands that I love, unbelievable. But, Patek is not going to stop their production. Patek is not going to stop their production. They are just upgrading all their movements and cases of all those models that have been discontinued for better quality. That's right. I don't know if you guys know, but I feel kind of funny saying this, but I'm telling you, the quality on Patek Philippe, Nautilus, and Aquanaut are very, very, very cheap made. I mean, just not really well done, when I use my Patek Philippe, I'm scared I might hit it somewhere and everything is just gonna, disassembled, fall apart. Honestly, Patek Philippe, all honesty, and I'm saying this because I'm an owner of a Patek Philippe. Patek Philippe watches, their quality is very, very bad. And I really mean that. It's very, very, very bad, So, you can compare, a Patek Philippe and their quality, and you look at their technology on their casing and on their bracelet, and you compare it to, say, to a Rolex, unbelievable. Rolex, unbelievable. On their flip lock, I want you guys to know something. The Rolex spends millions and millions of dollars on a flip-flop lock. That's right, on a flip-flop lock. This lock right here, they spend millions and millions and millions of dollars on technology. That's right. That's what Rolex does. And Patek just basically doesn't do that kind of technology with their watches. It's the truth, and it's an unbelievable looking watch, but you cannot compare the technology that Rolex puts in their watches to the technology that Patek has. Unbelievable, but true. Let me explain to you. Rolex spends more money on technology, on a flip-flop lock, you know, on a flip-flop lock, than Patek spends on their highest end timepieces of Patek. That's right. Unbelievable, but true. But it's the truth, you know? It's the truth. You know, gentlemen, just remember that the people that talk on the Muppet Boiler Room watch channels are heavily into those Patek watches. So they have to protect them and keep on saying beautiful things about them. But I want you to know that most of those watch dealers know exactly what I'm talking about. They know that Patek is very, very cheaply made. They know that. Some of them are scared to say it. But I'm not. Like I said again, Patek is very, very bad quality watch casing and bracelets. Unbelievable. Especially on those Nautilus. You know, unbelievable. But it's the truth. It's the truth. You know, they're done very bad. You know, not the best. You know, not the best quality at all. Unbelievable, but true. So, like I was telling you, you know, they have discontinued the Nautilus 5980 and the 5712, Nautilus 5712, and also the Aquanaut. But this is just basically, you know, to upgrade, you know, their technology, their quality on their casing and on their bracelet. Unbelievable. And on the movement, you know. Those watches that are being discontinued, they're going to come back again, you know, with a little bigger casing, a little different shade on their dial, you know, a better flip-flop lock, you know, unbelievable. But they're going to come back, you know. If it's not no more the 5980, now it's going to be called the 5985, you know. The 5987, you know, something like that, you know, the 5995, but they're going to come back again. The 5712 will be called probably the 5714, you know, unbelievable, but true. The Aquanaut, the 5164 will probably be called now the 5166, you know, if that number is still around, if that reference number is still available. But that's how it is, you know. These watches were all going to come back again, you know. And we got a bunch of window flavor lollipop suckers thinking that is discontinued. But they're going to come back again. I've been around the watch industry for the, you know, I would say 35 to 40 years. And this is the same game they play over and over and over again. The discontinued watch, you know, it always happens this time of the year, you know, coming now, March, you know, discontinue this, discontinue that. But I am telling you, like I told you, Rolex spends more money on technology, you know, development than Patek does. And one of their, you know, and their high-end Grail Patek Philippe watches. It's the truth. The king of watches, they're unbelievable. They spend a whole lot of money on technology and development. Patek does not do that. Don't let them fool you. They don't do that. You cannot compare. You cannot compare, and I mean this. You cannot compare the quality of a Rolex watch with a Patek watch. It's a cheapo. It's a cheapo watch. Price-wise, no, you cannot compare the prices of Patek Philippe with a Rolex. But durability, I seen Patek, like an example, I think it's a 3700 or 3800, and you look at those watches, man, they look like Seiko watches. I'm being honest about that. And again, I'm talking that way. To me, Patek is like my number one or number two watch. You know, one or two or 201, you know, they're there. But man, they're made very, very, very cheap. I mean that. Very, very cheap. You know, watches haven't involved, you know? Patek is still running on carburetors, you know? Carburetors, you know, the car, carburetors. I don't know how to say that word, you know? Believable, but carburetors, you know? While the rest of the watch world is in fuel injection and in turbos. With self-charging batteries, that's right. Patek does not have the technology that most of the watch brands of the world have. I mean that. You know, they don't have what Vacheron Constantin has, Aubryet, or Audemars Piguet. They don't. But they're still up there, you know. Their Patek is like number one. But man, they're made very, very cheap. I mean, very, very cheap. So don't think for a moment that these watches that they're being discontinued are not going to come back. They're all going to come back with a different reference number. So don't be, you know, like I say, don't be flavor window lollipop suckers. This is just to, you know, upgrade their technology on their watches because it's very, very bad made. Anybody that's a watch connoisseur and knows about watches, they have millions of dollars worth of watches, they know that Patek is made very, very economic, very, very cheap. I want you to know that the Nautilus line and the Aquanaut line are machine made. That's right. You heard that right. You heard it from me. You heard it from me. The Nautilus and Aquanaut line are machine made. The casing, the bracelet, the flip-flop lock, all that is machine made. Maybe they assemble a little bit of their movement, you know, in-house with parts coming from China. Unbelievable, but true. I got one. I can talk like that. So it's unbelievable, but it is the truth. You know, Patek makes cheap watches, in particular the Nautilus and Aquanauts. You know, this is their bread and butter, you know. Pump, and pump them out. But they have realized in the factory, they're behind the 8 ball. They're behind in technology and development and all that good stuff. I mean, I can tell you a watch brand that probably FP Jordan, you know, their technology and their development is unbelievable. Patek is just behind. And if they want to keep on charging the prices that they're charging for their watches, they got to come up with better quality and development on those watches. Again, in particular, Aquanaut and Nautilus, because they're just terrible. You know, like I was telling you, Rolex spends more money on research, on development, on a flip-flop lock, or on a bracelet than Patek does on their most expensive timepiece. That's right. That's right. You heard that from me. Whether you want to believe it or not. You heard that from me. Unbelievable but true. Unbelievable but true. So don't let these hucksters and hoodwinks flim-flam you with all the watches that they have invested and that they have in stock. You know, don't let them flim-flam you. So they got to keep on pushing Patek Nautilus, Patek Aquanaut, even though they know deep down inside that those watches are made very, very cheap. And I mean that. Very, very cheap. If Patek, you're hearing me, you know I'm saying the truth. I'm a Patek Philippe fan. I have one. But you guys make some cheap watches. your research, your technology, and your development is behind the 8 ball. That's right. You guys gotta rise your game, man, because the rest are just flying high, and you're just, keep on pumping these cheapo technology watches that are man-made by machine. That's right. And you say that you do the movements in-house. I say most of your parts come from China, but that's just me. So don't be lollipop suckers and fall in the trap of discontinued watches. All those watches that were discontinued last week by Patek will come back again with a different reference number, a better quality case, a better quality bracelet, all that good stuff. A little bigger, different shade in the dial. But they're all gonna come back again. I already told you I've been around this watch game between 35 and 40 years. 40 years. And I'm 61 years old. It's been a while already I've been involved in the watch game. And this happens every year. They got to go now tweak all these watches that they look and feel very cheap, make them look a little bit stronger and better. I have a friend of mine who was playing golf with me, and he had his Patek Philippe. And he was going to use his driver to hit the ball. And as he hit the golf ball with his driver, his Patek Philippe Nautilus 5711 disassembled. It went full bar. Unbelievable, but true. So you guys got to get smart out there. You guys need to know all this information. Rolex is the king of watches, and nobody spends more money in research and development and technology than Rolex. Rolex is number one. Rolex is number one. Don't let no one fool you. Nobody in the watch industry spends more money in research than Rolex. You heard it from me too. You can repeat it. You heard it from me. Even though Patek Philippe sells their watches much, much more expensive than Rolex. But it's not better made than Rolex. I hope you understand what I'm trying to let you know, and you use it to your advantage. Don't be window lickers, lollipop suckers, crayon eaters, and crash tomato cans. All right? All these watches will come back again. That's right. They'll come back again. Next year, they'll come back again. That's how it is. Because Patek Philippe knows they're out of the league with the rest of all these watches, with the Vacherons, Breguet. They're in technology, research, and development, they're out. They're out. Rolex, they're out. They just have an unbelievable name. Patek Philippe. All right? I hope you understand what I was trying to transmit to you guys out there, and you learn something from what I'm telling you. But don't let these people keep on hoodwinking you with all these things of discontinue. All right? These watches will come back again. Anyway, I really hope you learned something again from this. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like my video. And like I say every week, take care and brush your hair.